This VGK tailspin is the worst in franchise history, winning just once in the last 9 games. And knowing the Golden Knights organization and its lack of patience, Bruce Cassidy has to be on the hot seat. Our discussion next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi again, everyone, from Las Vegas. Tony Dasco and Chris Gawlik. Welcome to Locked On Golden Knights. We are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. I am a longtime sportscaster, a marketing consultant, and the host of the Believe in Vegas podcast. And Chris is the owner of Silver State Cards and Sports, and also the host of the Hockey News Collectible Show. Coming up ahead on today's show, hate to say this, but this latest VGK funk puts Bruce Cassidy on the coaching hot seat. And again, we know this front office and its lack of patience. And we have recaps of the weekend losses on the road in St. Louis and Chicago. We are brought to you today by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com. Check out NBA Friday Happy Hours. And don't forget to watch us each and every day on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. Again, 1 o'clock each day, Monday through Friday. SSSEN is the place to be, and you can find us on YouTube TV or Cox Cable Channel 77. Chris, the VGK was just 1 point in the 2 games over the weekend, and after yesterday's overtime loss in Chicago, Bruce Cassidy citing a lack of emotion with his team. That was one of the reasons why they haven't been winning, and that was what he said, especially when they need it most, like in the third period. He said the leaders have to hold players accountable. The coach can do it for a while, but accountability has to come from within and from within the locker room. Enough is enough, said Cassidy. Enough is enough. They lost 8 of 9 and 5 straight during this slide. And how are the Golden Knights holding on, first of all, to first place in the Pacific? Sorry to cut you off there.
No, you're fine.
I'm on a heater. I feel Cassidy's seat is very hot. Maybe the players are tuning out, Bruce. We've talked about this in the past. Is there a major concern right now from the front office?
The coach can only do so much, is what Cassidy said. Gotta hate friggin' losing. And then the words accountability come up a lot. And then you get the excuse against the Blues. They're a better team than their record indicates. Okay. These are signs of a coach basically saying things when he doesn't understand fully what's happening. And I don't think anyone understands fully what's happening. And injuries, don't care. That's the last time I'm going to say it today. Don't care. You should be able to find a path to victory against a weak Blackhawks team off the tail end of a back-to-back. Should have found a way to at least lose in overtime to the Blues. Hannafin, good job there for screwing that up. But back to the Cassidy effect here. And listen, we saw Gerard Gallant get fired after a 4-game losing streak, after what was more of an improbable run than what the 22-23 Golden Knights team did. It became apparent January, February. That team was possibly a good cup contender. It was different than 2017-2018, whereas 2017-2018, one of the most unique circumstances, not just in hockey, but in professional sports. If that didn't buy Gerard Gallant a lot of time, the Golden Knights are not going to have too much more. The leash is getting a lot shorter with Coach Cassidy right now.
And when Gary asks a question, Cassidy gets so fired up. He doesn't want to see him. There is no cooling off period long enough before he has to face Gary Lawless. I friggin' hate losing. Did you see how mad he started to get? And you can use injuries to a point. You talked about Gerard Gallant, but Pete DeBoer, that didn't save his job with all of the injuries, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
So you remember, I think you probably put this on your tagline a while back. It was after a rough loss, Gary Lawless doing what Lawless does, saying ridiculous things sometimes. He basically makes a statement to Coach Cassidy in the post-game presser, and then Coach Cassidy responds, is there a question in there, Gary?
Mm-hmm.
So Gary, he learned his lesson. He basically fired like 3 observations. He's like, oh, did you see it that way? Like he gets a question at the end just so he doesn't get yelled at by Cassidy. I thought that was interesting. But I'll say it again, Coach Cassidy, and no one has the answers, to be fair. It's not just Cassidy, but you got to wonder, like Cassidy has a certain way of running this team. He does not address the team after the game all the time. He himself said that. He's mentioning that it's on the players for the most part to keep themselves accountable. The coach can only do so much. So Coach Cassidy is basically saying he has a way of running this team and it's his way. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then, they'll figure that out. That's obviously McCrimmon to decide how to handle that. But Coach Cassidy needs another gear. You have people from the outside talking about how he wears out his welcome. That's what happened in Boston. Look at what happened in Boston. He had a great run in Boston with the Bruins. Couldn't get him over the hump, but playoffs every single year and a Stanley Cup contender most of the years. That didn't save his job there.
Yeah, hear me out. I don't think Cassidy's going to get fired, but could fingers be pointed to any of the assistant coaches?
I mean, when you start firing assistant coaches, it's basically, what was the show where, oh God, it was a funny thing with the night.
No,
what's that? No, where he cuts off his arm, then he cuts off his other arm, then he cuts off his leg, then he cuts off his other leg. What show was that? I'm sure someone can let us know. I forgot what it was. It was a funny Mel Brooks spoof, right? Mel Brooks something.
Yeah.
Mel Brooks couldn't save this team either right now. But
right.
Point being is when you start firing coaches, that's what you're doing. Or when you start firing assistants, that's what you're doing to the coach. You're taking away things from the head coach of the team, and you're sending a message. When an assistant gets fired and the head coach stays, it's sending a message. We've seen assistant coaches survive head coach firings every year. I mean, Ryan Craig is still with the organization after all the coaching changes and everything. So, I don't think, honestly, you got Deschamps. Honestly, that's the one who becomes,
that's who I was thinking. That's exactly who I was thinking. Though.
He's the interim, but it's Ryan Craig's position next year. If this happens, which I'm not saying it's going to happen today, but what a world we live in, Tony. There could be an over-under now on Pete Carroll or Coach Cassidy, who gets fired first.
Whoa, Carroll, I think for sure. But this is a team that's
Monday still has about 18 hours left in the day, Tony. Just saying.
So this VGK team is losing net front battles. They were 10. Now they're 10-1-1 after 2 periods with the loss to Chicago, and they've suffered 12 losses in extra time. And back to that Gary guy, he said on the air once that they don't practice shootouts. I don't think that they're practicing overtimes. That exposes a lot. It says a lot about this organization, whether it's true or not. I'm not there at practice, so I don't know what in the world they're doing. But
Gary said it, Tony. If Gary said it, that's scripture.
You think it's gospel, huh?
If Gary said it, absolutely, he'll tell you.
How short is that leash? How short do you think it is?
For Gary Lawless or Cassidy?
For Bruce.
I think it's shorter. Listen, I ran a poll on Saturday, and we had this discussion before when things weren't going well with the Golden Knights, and every single person, 95% of the people, Coach Cassidy, no, don't you dare say anything negative about Coach Cassidy. And then this last one was 70-30. So his approval rating is dropping in the fans right now. I guarantee you that if the approval rating is dropping at the fan level, this team will not tolerate losing from 2 levels. One, because they have higher on-ice expectations. And number 2, how about the financial aspect, Tony? It caused holy hell when they didn't make the conference final last year. People losing their jobs, so this team has a financial machine that needs to churn. The only way to churn that is more playoff games. Well, at least they got a plan to make it up next year to charge us more for the playoff tickets because we have no protection as season ticket holders. So, maybe the backup plan is, whatever they do this year is fine. And then next year they'll make it up. So whatever.
No. We know this organization. They've budgeted for a Stanley Cup final. Last year, they budgeted for them to get past Edmonton or whomever to make it into that conference final. This year, I think expectations are much greater. I think we're going to see someone fall. I just have this crazy feeling.
It's not crazy. It's not crazy. It's not a hot take even.
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be on the coaching staff, someone upstairs. I have no idea what it could be, but I just have this feeling right now because we know the expectation level with this team is so high.
We should do a similar segment tomorrow what is McCrimmon's responsibility and accountability, because he shares a lot too in this.
Coming up next, we start our recaps first. Coming up next, the loss to Chicago yesterday, one that VGK let slip away. Stay with us right next. Coming up next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Fridays already feel different during basketball season, and FanDuel is making them even better. Every Friday night before the games tip off, FanDuel gives the fans a new way to kick off the weekend with something called NBA Happy Hour. NBA Happy Hour is your official pregame, a limited time window where special offers drop inside the FanDuel app right before the action begins. Fridays from 6 to 7:30 Eastern Time. That would be 3 to 4:30 here in the Pacific time zone. Have become appointment viewing. You have to check it out with NBA Happy Hour. Opening the FanDuel app during Happy Hour always brings something new, boosts, bonuses, and surprises, and much, much more. It adds energy to Friday night basketball without overthinking it. So right before tip-off, check out the FanDuel app. You can do it. See what's dropping right there during NBA Happy Hour again from 3 to 4:30 Pacific time, 6 to 7:30 in the East. Little basketball, little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour only on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Today in earnest starts the new year, the new business year. My goodness. It's what's that team from Colorado? Oh, the Avalanche. The Avalanche. That's what it feels like. I feel like there's an avalanche happening right now. So, and it's Black Monday too in the NFL. So we'll see what happens there. Tyler Bertuzzi yesterday scores that hat trick. Scores all 3 goals for the Blackhawks. The final goal coming at 1:18 of the overtime period in a 3-2 Chicago victory. This was another team that you said 4 points or bust over the weekend. They got 1. And this is another team that VGK should have defeated, especially since the Blackhawks came in late. They come off of a 6-round shootout the night before in Washington, D.C. They have to travel home. They get in late. VGK with the lead there, 2-1 after a couple of periods. There was no push by the Golden Knights, and their first shot on goal came with about 13 minutes into the third period. There was absolutely, as Cassidy would say, no emotion on this team.
It's hard to look at game number 40 as a must-win game, and it's not a must-win game. It feels like it, but it's not. But in a circumstance where you need a win so bad or something to build on, I mean, Schmidt was okay, I guess. Maybe that's what you hang your hat on. Maybe Schmidt should get a little more. Well. Maybe Schmidt has earned a larger share of the net, although we saw Aiden Hill in gear over the weekend, but I don't think that's any indication of him being close. I think he just went on the dad's trip and took the picture. I don't think there's anything to indicate that Aiden Hill's close to returning right now. And if he is, it's not going to help this team either, but whatever, another story for another time. But in a game where just you expect more, like it's one thing if you go out there, you get out goalied and, you put up 36 shots on goal and generate 19 high danger chances. Okay, fine. Poop happens. But instead of poop happens, the Golden Knights just pooped the bed yesterday.
And this was, they keep reminding us, right, too, a scheduled win for the Golden Knights. Yes.
Christina, right? Thanks, Christina.
Yeah, Christina, thank you so much.
Christina.
Yeah, that's great, because that's something that I said a while back, scheduled wins. Well, that was a scheduled win. That was an absolute L, absolute bust.
We got that and tweak to tweak right now, so we're on fire.
I want to talk about Bertuzzi's second goal. It definitely showed to me that they are missing Brady McNabb. No excuse. He's listed as tweak to tweak, week to week now. Bertuzzi followed up. He followed up on the rebound, and he scored off of a miss. Mark Stone said that there was miscommunication between himself and Zach Whitecloud. No, it wasn't between him and Whitecloud. It was miscommunication on Whitecloud. The captain was in the right position. He said they both went towards Ryan Green, who then just shovels the pass, dishes it across the crease. Bertuzzi on the back door. Again, I would not blame Mark Stone on the miscue. And Jacob Megna was in outer space on that play too. How many things could have gone wrong? But you can see that they were missing Brayden McNabb, who just would have stayed at home right there in front of the net.
Yeah, I'm watching the visualizer on my side, watching it a few times, trying to see. I mean, Magna, Barbashev, kind of. Yeah, I mean, that's a clown show right there. I mean, honestly, I think that's more on Mark Stone than anybody.
Oh, come
Magna
on,
is watching the elbow, and Stone just kind of.
You can't blame the captain. What is wrong with you?
I'll hold him accountable if he's not going to. I mean, yeah, it was. So you got Stone, Eichel, and Whitecloud all converging on the pass. If you're going to do that, you better stop it. But I am with you. The interior, but even Tony, when McNabb was, God, this segment's fun. Even when McNabb was healthy, this team was still giving up goals from the inside, especially the Whitecloud, and insert any D pairing partner here. So this isn't necessarily something that's going to get fixed when McNabb returns, hopefully sometime by mid-February. Week to week is 6 weeks. That's what that means. It's basically anywhere in that probably 5 to 7 week range when they say it. And it's unfortunate. You hope Braden's okay. There's no one that wants to be out there more on this ice than McNabb. And, the team misses him dearly, but that is not the be-all, end-all to one of this team's many issues on the back end. And we talked earlier in the year, we did have a bright spot with McNabb and Theodore being the best D pairing as far as expected goals given up, pairings over 100 minutes or whatever it was. I think that's more McNabb than anything, but yeah, this team misses McNabb, but that's not going to fix the interior issues that this team had. Maybe it rescues a goal this game against the Blackhawks. I think it'd be disrespectful not to give McNabb that type of credit. But same breath, he's even if he's out there 24 minutes a game, what are you going to do when Whitecloud's out there?
Another game, another long distance dedication, Casey Kasem, long distance goal, 30-footer there by Bertuzzi.
You got the voice too, even Tony. If there's ever a movie, you got a shot, dude. You can be the voiceover for Casey Kasem.
Bertuzzi's
first stunt double.
They are getting beat inside, but from the outside, everything's gone wrong, right? Because they're giving up the perimeter goals, and then they can't protect the net in front.
But and the perimeter goals are a product of poor net front presence.
Okay, that's fair. And 15 VGK shots on goal. Now get this, 15, the fewest the Blackhawks have allowed in a game since 2013. Since 2013.
I mean, the Blackhawks are known for being a defensive powerhouse.
Mitch Marner. It is Marner Monday, but there's nothing to say. There's no shots on goal in the game on Sunday, 3 shots against the Blues. And Bruce Cassidy, though, just to be honest here, has to do something to unleash him to get him more involved in this offense. He does.
He has
go
been
back on the top line. Yeah, Howden. He's playing with Howden, for crying out loud. That's not the answer. I'm sorry.
It brought Mark Stone to glory, the Brett Howden line. I mean, all right, so last 3 games, Marner has goose-egged as far as points. Shots on goal, he has 6 shots in the last 3 games, but 3 came in, 2 of them no shots against the Blackhawks. Points, he had a great run from the 20th to the 29th, and then obviously a real rough 3-game stretch. And I mean, Nashville, the Golden Knights just played Nashville, St. Louis, and Chicago, and have 1 point to show for it. And when I said rock bottom, this is it, guys. This is just the worst run of EGK history. I mean, the only other rock bottom, I guess you could say, is when they missed the playoffs in 2016, 2017, I guess, if you want to, or not, I'm sorry. Well, I guess they missed the playoffs then in 21, 22. So this is the second worst rock bottom from before when they didn't have a hockey team name. So yeah, I mean, this is rough right now. And is Coach Cassidy going to get fired today? I don't think so. Is he going to get fired before Pete Carroll? Not necessarily, but there's at least a line in the sports books now. But looking ahead at this Golden Knights schedule here, how much longer will this be tolerated? You got Winnipeg, Columbus, St. Louis, San Jose, LA, and then Toronto on the 15th. So here's the poll question, Tony. Will Coach Cassidy be coaching the Golden Knights on January 15th when Toronto comes to town?
They have to get through that stretch. There's some teams that they've dominated, but the Pacific Division is
Tony, they got 1
Pacific
point.
is-
They got Minnesota, St. Louis, and Chicago. So slow your roll, buddy.
Yeah, the Pacific is absolutely mid right now. The loss in Chicago was so bad they had to cut the dads off drinking in the third period. They couldn't even be boozing it up there in overtime. 0-1-1 in the lost weekend. Friday's loss to
lost
St.
weekend
Louis.
or weekend?
Lost weekend.
Oh.
Friday's loss to St. Louis on the road was the worst of the season, I believe. We'll tell you why right here on Lockdown Golden Knights.
Tough.
They hate us when we're so honest there, Gawlik.
Doom and gloom.
Well, we just are honest. That's our downfall here. We thank everyone for making Lockdown Golden Knights your first listen of the day.
Got a lot of green going today.
We thank you so much for making Lockdown the #1 sports podcast network. If you never miss an episode, it's time to make it official, just like we do with relationships on Facebook. I hate that. Why do I say that all the time? Join the Lockdown Everydayer Club and get ad-free audio, access to our members-only Discord, and much, much more, all built for the most loyal fans. Just simply go to lockdownpodcast.com/everydayer. So we want to talk about the loss, first of all, to the St. Louis Blues that started off this weekend. VGK losing to the worst offensive team in the NHL, bar none. The Blues in St. Louis took the Golden Knights.
They're a better team despite what their record indicates, Tony.
As newly minted Olympian, Noah Hannafin, newly minted. And like they had so many features on Hannafin and the call and his dad. And oh, brother, I can't. I just can't. I can't.
Gotta be a pin coming, right?
He turns over the puck. Braden Shen scores the game winner off of a rebound. Just a minute 33 remaining in the game. The Golden Knights, as we said Friday, fell to a team that was last in scoring and had the worst goal differential in the league. There was a lot of excuses flying on State Run after that, though. Yeah?
I mean, we'll start with the Hannafin turnover. So I was working and I had the audio on. I had the video too, but I just heard the audio when the goal happened. And then right away I hear, okay, this must have hit a linesman. And I watched the replay. I'm like, the linesman's 6 feet away. And then, well, maybe it's offsides. The players.
No. First it hit the linesman. Then they said it just jumped up off the ice.
Oh, it jumped.
So it had to hit like a divot or something in the ice.
And an Olympian forgot how to handle a puck. Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
keep it going. What else? What else did they say?
I don't know. The grandma got ran over by a reindeer. Robin Leonard was looking at a hot dog in the stands. I mean, you tell me, Tony.
It's like the end of the game on Sunday. Was it offsides? That by a centimeter, the puck went over the line for the winning goal. Like what? Just call the game, for crying out loud. Stop making it so excuse laden, and it's making matters worse, in my opinion.
I mean, listen, the Blues game. Okay, Kolesar. I love the Kolesar goal, not the fact that the fact that he finally scored a goal,
first of the season.
Yeah, no, listen, it was good to see and good
first
for
in
Kolesar.
like 60 some odd games, they said.
But Sissons creates the turnover. Korzak starts the breakout. You got a good play by Kolesar just to get it going. Saad makes play. This is a great grinder goal by the fourth line and something you need to see more of. I loved every bit of that goal. And then you go to the Torpashenko goal right after that. I mean, Hutton gets, first of all, Magna, bad pass. Dorofeev, Riley Smith, a lot of great passing by the Blues. Hutton gets absolutely torched. He's a passenger. So that's the first goal right there. Second goal, low to high, no one's in front, rebound, low to high again. We know how that's gonna play out. The third goal, this is was that the turnover? No, it's not the turnover. That's how this one happened. Ben Hutton loses a battle, and all of a sudden the puck there it is right there. So, and then the last goal we talked about. So Ben Hutton, really fast here. Yes, he's scoring goals. There's a love affair with Ben Hutton right now. But we're seeing why Ben Hutton does not draw into everyday lineups on any of the 32 NHL teams. He's got some moments. He's not an everyday player, and a lot of people are calling for him to be out there every day. I'm sure this show as well. And now we're seeing some kinks in the armor there. I saw another goal that was given up. It was a 2-on-1, which is very difficult in the first place. Right through his legs, Hannafin's defending the 2-on-1, doesn't drop or anything. Like, you think about how a Pietrangelo would play that. You think about how an Alec Martinez would play it. You think about how Braden McNabb would play it.
Yes.
And, Hutton just kind of stands there. And again, it's Hutton. Hutton is not any of those players. That's not his fault. But in the same breath, this is now reminding everyone why Ben Hutton, it's almost like Braden Bowman. Although Braden Bowman, he's having a lot of bad luck. He's around it at least and doing good things.
He has been.
Where Hutton is maybe simply having an outlier type of season, getting a little bit lucky.
Okay. Carter Hart. That's how I say Carter Hart's name. Carter Hart in net after he was pulled in the Minnesota game. Now his save percentage under 880.
He was great though, right? Tony, according to Twitter,
shots.
Some guy on Twitter said he was great that game.
It was super.
Who was that guy? Was it Gary again?
It took, the
sky is always gold in lawless land. Sky is always gold in lawless land.
He said he was playing really well, and 4 goals on 19 shots is what he gave up.
Be honest. The fan base isn't stupid. Be honest.
That's what I like. I like the honesty, and we're too honest, I think, sometimes on this show.
But when the team is doing well, we are more than happy to acknowledge that. It's not just when it's bad. Like, we're dumping right now, as we should be, as every fan should be. We have higher expectations.
Right. We did. Absolutely. We budgeted for them to go.
This is the team's fault that we're negative. We expect more.
Didn't we budget for this? We budgeted for a run, for a cup run. 2 games.
Sorry.
2 games. And 2 penalty shots. Like, you could go an entire 3-4 seasons without seeing one. And
I don't know about that, but it's definitely a bit odd, yeah. And it tells you they're going
to 2 this season. That's a record for VGK, right? It has to be 2 penalty shots in a season. They've given out.
No, it's not a record. No way.
They've given up
2 games is something, I'm sure, but that's definitely not a record necessarily. I'm sure they've
given up 2 in a season before.
I would say 2 or 2 to 3 is pretty standard.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares?
We do have to give props to Mark Stone. He's still on a heater now, scoring again yesterday.
Stone's the only one doing anything right now. Stone's leading by example. Stone's a great leader, and that's not fluff.
I know, but he needs to step up a little bit more because
got to drag someone else to the fight.
Thanks for tuning in today on Locked On Golden Knights. Make sure to subscribe and to follow us wherever we're at on all of our platforms. If you haven't already, please check out our new Everydayer Club. Access to an ad-free audio feed, invite to members-only Discord, and a members-only Locked On merch store, which we need to check out. So check it out today. Again, go to lockedonpodcast.com/Everydayer Club. Tony Cardasco for Chris Gawlik. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights.